Malays are actually not homogeneous. They don't think, well, they are Jawa, they are Bugis. Najib is Bugis, you know. I mean, Malays generally actually think quite differently. So the one campaign fits all that we have been doing so far is not going to cut it. We need to know if we have to win 30 marginal seats in order to get rid of Najib, and we need a 2% or 3% swing in places like Segamat, Ledang, Johor Bahru, Pasir Gudang, Cebrau. That's why, with all these issues, the 1MDB, the GST, the Tabung Haji, the world and so on, we need a different kind of messenger who go and knock doors and talk to these people in a language and manner that is not partisan and that is not antagonizing oppositional politics. We have all figured it out. As Wang Chan said, the system are in place. I'm quite proud to say that perhaps we have the best engine, electoral engine, that no party in this country can match. I can categorically say that. My only problem is one. I need people to go down and start knocking doors, because they have to carry this message, and we will give this message, for example, for people to go and speak to the fence-sitters Malays in Setiawangsa. We know exactly what are the emotive issues. We will give this message to them, but we need them to continuously knock doors every week for the next 6, 7, 8, 9 months until the election. I can't get politicians to do that. It will backfire. I can't do that. It defeats the purpose. I need every single common citizen who loves this country to give your 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, or if you are crazy, you can do like what these bright kids have done. They quit their job and come and join us. That's what we need. For once, we can sever the tie between politicians and vested interests. For 60 years, every time a politician wants to stand in an election, that politician has to go and beg for money. Not everyone is as lucky as Najib to get 2.6 billion donation. I don't get it. So what happens? You have politicians who either have to go and see developers, or politicians who have to go and see businessmen, or politicians who against their conscience will do everything and anything in order to get the money from the Prime Minister who have 2.6 billion ringgit in his accounts. No amount of change of parties or government will save us from corruption and corrupt politicians until and unless we sever this tie between politicians and vested interests. So when we collect money from the public and we have a system to assess and to subject them to rigorous integrity tests, we modify them. They can be independent-minded politicians that once they win, not a single vested interest can go and tell them what to do or what they can't do, or they do not have to fear that if I do this, even though it's right, I may not get the funding for my re-election. And you know, I went through the experience. When I left my job in Selangor in July 2012, because I felt that it's really wrong to be a civil servant, then afterward to go and campaign as a politician. So I quit my job in July 2012. I have about 10 months unemployed. Somewhere around there, I have a batchmate of mine from MCKK who give me every month 5,000 ringgit so that I can sustain my life until my election. He never asked for anything. It's not that I can give anyway. But I know the meaning of when I get funded by normal public and citizens who will never ask anything from me. All you ask is for me to do a good job. I can do a good job. I don't have to fear what my senior party leaders think about what I say. I don't have to fear about developers in my area cutting off my funding. I can go after any and every scoundrel that I have the time to go after in my time as an MP. For over 50 years, we always look at someone to come and save us. They have not saved us. They have sold us out all this while. Stop putting your belief and hope in the hands of those people up there, because they have different consideration than you have. If you want to change this country, you have to do it yourself. But you must stop complaining and expecting somebody will come and rescue you. It's not going to happen. Your worst enemy is yourself. It's the chip on the shoulder you have. And the worst enemy for the Malays, coming from a hardcore Malay poor who went to a hardcore Malay institution, the chip on the shoulder, if Malays continue to live and grow up in fear of others. Why should we fear the Chinese, the Christians, the Indians? Why? Malays will go down further and further and further, and it will drag everyone with it. In the same way, when somebody swindles tabung haji money, I know that UMNO scoundrel will say that non-Malays, you shut up, don't talk, this is our money. Stupid. It's not your money. Tabung haji is guaranteed by government. When you swindle tabung haji money, taxpayers have to pay. Chinese, Indian, Christian, Iban, Hindus all have to pay. You have every right to scrutinize about tabung haji in much the same way. If Malay continue the downward spiral that Jamal and Najib manufacture, we will all be sucked into it, everyone, because Malay are the majority. We have to do it together in the way that, especially a lot of you who are seniors, in the way that in the past we have built this country and society together to bring it where it is today.